So we're doing a part 2 to the shenanigans of Aubrey Marcus and his harem of very sad ladies, which I feel really, really sad about. But anywho, I saw another comment. I watched, there's many videos that came out, as you can see, and as soon as I finished the other video, I'm like, damn, I want to say so many more things. And I saw another video by a wonderful creator. She made me laugh so hard. And through her video, I was able to actually listen to the bullshit that was said. So one of the comment on her video was, they talk about an orgy like it's quantum physics. And I think it's hilarious. I think it's genius and it's very true. The level of word vomit coming from Marcus and his fake rabbi and his 2 hypnotized sexual slaves is actually hysterical but very deeply disturbing. So I want to speak more about it. So I really felt a need, or should I say, I heard a message from God telling me you should do another video. So here I am. So I've been saying this for years on my channel and in my community. The dark forces have infiltrated the spiritual community for years now. And this has been happening worldwide. This is the clearest example that I've seen, what's happening right now with Aubrey Marcus. And what we are witnessing is, in my opinion, a mental illness masked as enlightenment, a deeply delusional, dangerous group of people playing with forces they really don't understand. So first, I would like to talk about this rabbi, so to speak, Mark Gaffney. Now, I am Israeli, I am Jewish, okay? As a Jewish person, as an Israeli person, I am telling you, this Mark Gaffney guy, I just cannot listen to his voice. He's a fake rabbi, by the way. He's not a real rabbi, okay? And we're going to go over that. He's a real rabbi. Let me tell you this, as a Jewish woman, a real rabbi would never approve of this fucking circus, okay? Judaism is literally rooted in the idea of the sacred union. In Hebrew, it's called azivug kadosh. And it is a sacred responsibility in Judaism. So, but, they have handed, Aubrey and his wife have handed this very shady man spiritual power to guide their relationship. This is terrifying. Mark Gaffney has been accused of sexually abusing teenage girls and engaging in inappropriate relationships with female followers. Multiple women have come forward alleging abuse dating back to the 1980s and early 2000s, excuse me. His rabbinic titles have been revoked. He's not a rabbi. He's been sued under New York's Child Victim Act. He denied all allegations, of course. Now, I wonder, why did Marcus choose this man to be his relationship anchor, like Vailana calls him? Because he needed another fake guru, okay? He needed someone to whisper behind him and his girl's ears, it's okay, you're safe, this is sacred. He basically needed permission. Mark Gaffney is playing out the role of giving permission to Marcus's insanity and madness. This is how cults operate, by the way. So the only reason that this rabbi is there is to legitimize Marcus's madness. And all of this madness, really, that they're all creating together. To be the second voice validating Aubrey's manipulations. And I'll say it. I cannot even listen to this man. Like I said, his shadows walk into the room before he does. He's not a rabbi. He's a charlatan. And I wouldn't even call him a Jewish man. So let's talk about, in this video, I want to talk more about sex magic and the subconscious manipulation that I see in this dynamic. So let's talk about the magic of spells, first of all. This group of people are creating spells, casting spells with their words. Make no mistake about it. They're creating a new language, a beautiful language, right? Like lovership and all those freaking ridiculous words that they're creating. Spiritual sounding words that drip with light and love on the surface, but underneath it's manipulation. It's a deception dressed as divinity. And this is what cults do, okay? They invent their own vocabulary to disconnect you from reality, to confuse your inner compass, to rewrite your truth and bend your will. And it's powerful because words are spells, all right? And they bypass the conscious mind and speak straight to the subconscious. And when someone keeps whispering those spells in your ear, day by day, ceremony after ceremony, you start to believe them. You think that you're ascending when really you're being led into a trance. You're being hypnotized. This is magic being used to dominate, not liberate. And that is not the kind of temple that I serve. And that is not the kind of truth that I will stand for. This is fucking bullshit. And I see this so much. This is not just them. I see this so much in the spiritual community, with all the charlatans who are calling themselves shamans. And I work with medicine. I do not call myself a shaman. I'm a psychedelic witch. I'm a sex priestess. I never will call myself a shaman. And I am doing this because I honor medicine and because I know how to work with it and because I know the danger and how much power I have to create chaos in people's lives. I have a huge responsibility, but I also know if I'm not in full integrity and kind of catching my own shadows all the time and working on my own shadows all the time and mastering them, I will create myself a huge karma. So I know the responsibility that I have towards the people I work with, towards the medicine that I serve, and towards the light that I want to bring into the world and to myself as well. Now, I want to talk about Vailana, okay? Let me just take a sip of water. Cheers to truth. Now, she admits Marcus has slowly pushed her boundaries, okay? And we know how his beautiful words combined with altered state with medicine can influence someone's consciousness. He's literally hypnotizing and putting spells on these women, and they're all kind of doing it to each other at this point. Now, Vailana and also the other girl, Alana, and I call her a girl because she's a freaking girl. She's so young. They're very vague. She speaks in a very vague language. She uses poetic language like him, and she literally gives you no actual information, just like a very beautiful vague language, trying to convince herself that she's safe. She's basically trying to manipulate herself into feeling safe and that this is okay. Because for the feminine, do not mistake this, for the feminine, this is all about safety. And toxic men use the tactic, especially in the spiritual field, of like, you're insecure. You need to work on yourself. It's not me wanting other women. It's your issue. You need to work on your confidence and your, shadows and your, bullshit. Men like Aubrey say, if our love is real, it will hold no matter how many women I sleep with or how many men you sleep with. And women, especially women longing to be chosen, like Vailana, because we know this, we've heard this, like she's been talking about this for years, fall into that trap. It's a psychological game. Now, but let me be clear, real love loses its power when there is no integrity, and there is zero integrity in this relationship, in this dynamic, only manipulation. And I'll say this again, like I said in the other video, a real man, a real fucking king will never want to see his woman sleep with another man and be okay with it. That is bullshit. Now, let's talk about Alana, the young girl. She says, listen to this carefully. She says that she was lost when she got Marcus's message when he found her on a dating app, right? God told him to go to a dating app and find someone important, all right? So this matters, and I'll tell you why this matters, that she felt lost, because lost women, lost girls especially, are often preyed upon by predators. And so when she was in that state of being lost, it was very easy for predators seek the energy of women and girls who are lost, okay? And when she's invited, right? He's this predator, and she's invited by him, and he's a rich, famous guy, and he invites her with his wife, so she feels safe and everything is wonderful. She invites him to a safe, so-called intense ceremony, without even knowing these people, right? So she goes and she has a medicine ceremony with them where you can program anything into someone's subconscious. They are literally doing sex magic on her. They're doing magic on this girl, okay? Now, these people call it the God Bomb. So for years, they have been talking about the God Bomb, apparently. And I Googled this thing. They call it the worship of the divine masculine. Now, notice how this is the God Bomb. It's not the goddess bomb. It's not the love bomb. It's the God Bomb. It's the worship of the divine masculine, not the feminine. The God Bomb is a term coined, and this is from Google, coined by Aubrey Marcus and Vailana to describe their transformative a ceremonial experience. So they were literally creating a sex magic ritual, right? It includes breath work, sound healing, body work, and psychedelics. The intention to reconnect participant with their inner divinity and the universal essence of love. That's what they say, right? On podcast, Aubrey calls it a way to transcend societal norms, to unlock spiritual potential. They say it's a tool for healing, but let's be honest, it's also a tool for mind control. This is pure magic. This is pure mind control. This is the danger of the New Age community and the New Age movement. Those who call themselves shaman and healers, but are actually psychopaths in disguise. Like, I have been warning about this for years, especially as I have a sex magic school, okay? I am like the only one on the planet who teaches this that I've seen so far. If you're one of them, please contact me, that is doing this with 100% integrity. Like, and it's because I'm fucking always looking at my own shit and my own shadows. And and I'm very, very careful with what I do. Very, very careful with who I work with how I work with it, especially when medicine is involved. You can influence the subconscious mind so much and you can create either deep healing or deep chaos in people's lives. Okay. And I've seen the latter more often, more chaos, people creating more chaos because they don't know what they're doing. They think, so as a psychedelic witch, I have to speak about medicine. So even with my clients, I always stress caution, use it wisely. And yet some don't listen to me. Okay. Some get really excited. They take medicine once or twice and 3 times. And then, oh my God, this is an amazing experience. Oh my God, I want more and more and more and more and more. It's very addictive energetically and spiritually. And they get excited. They take medicine once or twice and suddenly they think they have all the answers. No, they're just digging up a grave. Most people, if they keep doing that more often and not use medicine wisely, they're going to dig up a grave to themselves and for their relationships. Aubrey says Mother Ayahuasca shows him all the places that he's out of integrity. I call bullshit. All right. Ayahuasca is sacred. She should be honored. Okay. I actually have her here, like written in blood. She should be honored. Those who consume animals, sleep around with other people, and serve their ego are not commuting with the divine during ayahuasca and other medicine ceremonies. Trust me, they're commuting with very low entities. Now, let me remind you, this is something that most people don't know. Most South American and Mexican shamans who call themselves shaman and you go to do ayahuasca ceremonies with are literally using black magic and blood sacrifice ritual during the ayahuasca ceremony. Sometimes in front of the people, sometimes behind closed doors in another room or in another space where people don't see it. They're using and harnessing the energy of the people, the portals that the people are opening and creating black magic. So you're not going to commune with the divine in ayahuasca. You're going to use ayahuasca, but the dark wizards and magicians are going to use you with blood sacrifice and black magic to harness your life force and energy and actually connect you with very low entities. So there is a huge danger in the shamanic world today that we do not know about because, again, the dark forces have infiltrated the spiritual community for years, and it is very, very dangerous. You can believe me or not, but this is the reality. So when Aubrey Marcus speaks about integrity while acting above everyone else, claiming that his open relationship is blessed by the divine, this is blasphemy. This is bullshit. Now, he says people in monogamy, he talks about friends of his in the past that, he had friends and he said people in monogamy, they lie and they suffer illnesses like psoriasis from the stress of hiding their cheating because they're all cheating. And maybe let me just give you an advice. I know it's a radical advice, like radical monogamy, it's super, super radical, but maybe just don't cheat. Maybe just don't fucking cheat and don't lie to your partner. Just don't be in a relationship if you want to cheat. Don't be in a fucking relationship. I know it's a very, very, very crazy advice, but how about it? Now, sex magic is real, people, okay? It is real. And most people unknowingly use sex as a portal to baneful magic. If you want to understand the basics of sex magic, read my book, Sex Magic Evolution. I have a few books, but that's the basic. That's the first one. They're opening dark portals that affect the world, okay? First of all, it affects themselves, but it also affects the world. We need sacred unions. We need more and more sacred unions. This is why this is my mission, to empower and to create more sacred unions in the world, because we actually need to open more gates, more portals to actual light and divinity and to higher forces, so that we can evolve and elevate and fucking awaken as humanity already. Now, I want to talk about this God that Aubrey Marcus speaks about, okay? Apparently, this God that Aubrey Marcus has, that none of us have because it's his special God, he tells him, he gives them the clear messages. You go here, you go there, you go to this dating site, and he tells him exactly who to sleep with, right? He's guiding him with very clear messages on who to fuck next. It's very convenient, this God of his, right? God has time to plan Marcus's sex life, but not enough time to deal with starving children and human trafficking. That's a very interesting God. Marcus's libido is apparently a top priority for his God. This is the danger of people saying, Spirit told me, I got this message from Spirit. This is the birth of every fucking cult, okay? And if you don't see it, it's ridiculous. Now, next topic, I want to talk about Isis in Egypt. As you know, my sex magic school is called the Sex Magic School of Isis and Lilith. There is a reason that the Sisters of the Temple use the code words Isis and Lilith. They are code words to remind humanity of awakening. Those who are in my inner circle know my thoughts about Egypt. They know that I will never go to Egypt. They know that Egypt for me is actually the birth of the dark wizards' black magic temples. The temples there are actually very, very dangerous energetically. Every person I've seen that goes to Egypt and has like this amazing spiritual experiences in the temple, actually their energy is completely shifted. Their energy was already low before that because that's why they were attracted to go there. But then their energy is even lowered. It's a very dangerous. If you really are a light worker, you're never going to go to Egypt. You don't want to go to Egypt. You're going to be, something will stop you, even if you want to go there, and something will stop you and don't go to Egypt. That's a very dangerous place energetically. Perhaps there are very few light workers that actually were called to go there to raise the frequency. But let me tell you, it is a very dangerous place energetically, very low frequency. It is the birthplace, one of the birthplace on our planet of the black magic, dark magic, blood sacrifice rituals of the dark wizards. If you want to know about the fall of the actual temple, of the temple of the priestesses, you can read my book, The Last Priestess, and it will bring up the memories in you if you're a light worker. So the temples of Egypt, okay? Those temples are not what hippies think they are. They are built, again, on a black baneful magic to hijack the energy of the original priestesses. If you read the Last Priestess book, like I said, you know what I mean. Every person I know who's gone there has come back energetically altered and manipulated. But that's a whole other discussion, which I'm not going to go into, and I also don't want to hurt people's feelings. So Aubrey goes to Egypt with his two mistresses. He calls it the Holy of Holies. Of course he does. And he receives a message from God or Isis, which is blasphemy on its own to use the word of Isis for this bullshit. Because let me tell you, Isis did not give him this message, okay? Maybe his God that worries about his sex life gave him his message. You need to have children with both of these women. That's the message that he got in Egypt. Wow. And he was like so shocked about it. And he was like so dramatic about it. Right. Classic cult narrative. Fake prophet syndrome. God told me. And Vailana, she's the blind follower, selling her soul just to be chosen. But the more she plays his game, the less he's going to choose her. That is what's happening to her. Every time she feels safe, he hits her again with another message from God. He pushes her boundaries again and again. He pushes her safety again and again. This is how he's mind fucking her. So, and this is what happens when you misuse psychedelics and sexual energy and hide behind your shadow. Your shadows will grow. They will expand. They will start to control you. Now, in this dynamic, Vailana has to heal herself. Pay attention. But her jealousy, her insecurity, her pain, it's all her thing. She has to heal. She has to grow, right? But Aubrey, he doesn't have to heal anything. He's holy because he gets messages from God. He has the money, the fame, the drugs. He has the poetic words. And above all, he's got the rabbi now to speak for him, the fake rabbi. So notice how only his visions are valid, right? And the women, their feelings don't matter. They just have to go along with the messages that he's receiving from God. And then there's another desecration. And another topic I want to talk about is sisterhood. He's placing Vailana in a deeply unsafe, painful place, knowing full well her wounds. One wound that she talks about, the wound of sisterhood, the pain of another woman taking her place. And he plays on that, okay? Super manipulative. Just like he plays on the wound of her of being betrayed by men in the past. This is not love. This is calculated manipulation and it's absolute cruelty. There's zero love here. Now, I want to mention a final warning. Psychedelics, sacred sexuality, shamanic rituals, these are powerful tools. All right, I use them myself. They can open portals of deep healing or destroy your fucking soul. When used by predators in spiritual disguise, they become weapons of mass manipulation. Sex magic is not a game. It is a sacred force, and it must be held in truth, integrity, and devotion to the divine. If you feel something is off, it is. Trust your gut, and may your temple always remain sovereign. I love you all so much, and I am really grateful, Aubrey, Vailana, Alana, Fake Rabbi. I'm grateful for you because you have triggered an awakening in our spiritual community, and I'm so happy to see that most of us are seeing through the bullshit and are actually on the right path. I love you so much, and may the Mother always be with you. Let me just say this from the deepest place in my being. As a sex priestess and a psychedelic witch, I am tired of watching the most sacred things be twisted. Sacred sexuality is not about control. It's not about some man playing God, using plant medicine and magic to manipulate a woman's heart, body, and womb. Sex magic is not a game. It's a portal, a prayer, a fucking initiation into divine union. When it's done right, it's holy, it's healing. It brings you to your knees in front of the mystery. But when it is done from ego, from shadow, from hunger, from unprocessed pain, it becomes dark, dangerous, and even, yes, demonic. Let's call it what it is. Ritual abuse is not healing. Energetic rape is not union. Love doesn't override your intuition, and God doesn't gaslight you. I am saying this for the women who were told they were chosen only to be discarded when they didn't submit. For the women who thought it was love when really it was a spell. For the women who cried during sex and were told it was a purge, but their souls were screaming no. I see you, I hear you, I've been you. This is why I do this work, to restore the sacred, to protect the magic, to remind us what it means to be in true divine union with ourselves, with a partner, with the God force that moves through all of life. This isn't about fear. This is about truth. And truth is the most erotic force there is. So if you've been hurt, if you've been questioning yourself, please hear me when I say you're not crazy. You're not broken. You're not broken at all. You are waking up. You are remembering, and I am right here with you. Rebuilding the temple, the true temple, one honest word at a time. Please subscribe, like, and share so I can continue making these videos and share the work of the temple. And may the goddess bless you all.